Yo, this is your favorite neighborhood math teacher, Mr. K, and I've got a problem for you to solve. Now, I've always wondered as a kid, I'm all about completing games and working out what is the percentage, how much of a percentage of a game do I need to complete in order to finish a game. And Super Mario 64 was one of the first games I played. And in that game, Mario needs to collect 70 out of 120 Power Stars at a minimum to face the final boss. And I want you to work this out as a percentage. Now the first thing I do, I look at the question. And I can see in the question that Mario needs to collect 70 out of 120 Power Stars. So I'm going to highlight that here. This 70 out of 120 can be written as a fraction. So I'm going to do that straight away. 70 is a numerator out of the total 120 means over 120. Now I'm going to change this fraction into a percentage. How do we change our fractions into a percentage? I multiply by 100. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to times this by 100. So in my thinking column, because we need to have a thinking column, right? I'm going to multiply by 100 to change the fraction to a percentage. Okay, now this step here, there's a little bit of a trick that I use, and that is this 100, I can just write that as a fraction by putting it over 1. And then I got a multiplication of two fractions. So just multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. 70 times 100 120 times 1, and there you go. Now this problem here, that's a fraction where you want to try to simplify it, because we can obviously divide it here, but we don't want to do that because you don't want to divide over 120. So I'm going to simplify this as much as I possibly can. I can see there's a 0 on either end, so that means I'm going to be dividing this by 10, and that will eliminate the zeros. Boom, there it goes. So you get 700 over 12, and here with my thinking column I'm going to write simplify the fraction. So I can keep on going with this. 700 over 12, I can still divide this by 2. You get 350 over 6. I can still, again, divide both of these two numbers by 2 and simplify it even further. Both numbers are even, so therefore I can divide it by 2. And then you get 175 over 3. Now in this step here, I can't simplify this fraction any further. So you may be stuck on what to do. But 175 over 3, it can be written as 175 divided by 3. Now in this step here, I'm going to be using the bus stop method to divide. And when I use the bus stop method, I can actually work this out as a percentage. So let me show you how to do that. We divided by 3, so 3 goes outside the division bracket, and then I put 175. I see how many 3's go to 1, that's 0. So then I've got to consider how many 3's go to 17. How many 3's go to 17 means it's going to be 5. There's 2 left over, so I'm going to put the 2 over here. My new number is 25. How many 3's going to 25? That is going to be 8. But I'm still going to have one remainder. So I need to extend the number across, and I'm going to put a placeholder 0 and another placeholder 0 here. Keep the decimal point consistent, so I'm going to put it above the decimal point. There was a 1 left over because 3 times 8 is 24. There's 1 left over. So how many 3's going to 10? That's going to be 3. 1 is left over as a remainder. How many 3's going to 10 is another 3. You can see the process is starting to repeat itself. So I'm going to stop it here. This answer, 58.33333333, is our percentage. I'm just going to round it to 1 decimal place. So I'm going to get 58.3% to 1 decimal place. Not I decimal place, 1 decimal place. And there you go. So the percentage, in order to face the final boss Super Mario 64, in a bare minimum is actually 58.3%.